Welcome back. Former chairman and managing director of Vauxhall Motors, Tim Tozer, joins me now. Thank you so much for your time today. You're a great person to speak to about this. These damaging tariffs that Donald Trump is planning to enforce against the British and indeed the rest of the EU on this so-called Liberation Day on April the 3rd. And I hadn't realised, Tim, that actually 8 in 10 cars produced in Britain are exported. And of those, the US is the UK's largest single market by country, accounting for 6.4 billion worth of car exports by 2023. That's 18.4% of the total. So this is going to be catastrophic for the industry, isn't it?
It is not good news at all. There are some particular manufacturers that are going to be seriously exposed, most notably Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah.
The volume of shipments from the UK into the USA is about 100,000 cars a year, as you said, worth about 6 billion. It's very material. I mean, I think just very briefly, it's worthwhile trying to understand what Trump is up to, because he wants to encourage manufacturing in his USA market, as well as boosting demand. I mean, for example, he is looking at making, and this is with the Senate at the moment, interest on loans for cars that would be manufactured in the USA would be given a tax credit. So he's aggressively going for his electorate, essentially, and it has a cost to us, most definitely.
How should the government be dealing with this? I mean, some have suggested retaliatory tariffs. Others have said that we should be maximising our Brexit advantage because, of course, we could perhaps negotiate outside of the EU and any discussions that those European countries are having with Trump. What do you think they should do?
I think this government, our government, should be pursuing every angle. And I think with the minister out there, I think if he's still out there, trying to negotiate a carve-out, I mean, that is an obvious way forward. I mean, the question, of course, is whether or not, in the way that Trump sees the world, will be given a let. I mean, we think we understand the fact that he is not very much friends of the EU. They clearly irritate him. The fact that we voted for Brexit is almost a plus point from his perspective. So that concept of a carve-out is absolutely to be pursued. I mean, I think from what I understand in the media, that it's proving heavy work. There's no certainty. I think there's talk of this Wednesday we might get a feeling for whether that carve-out is going to be possible or not. So that's the first thing that should be tried. In the event that that does not work, does not come to fruition, I mean, I think it would be unwise to put retaliatory tariffs against them, at least for the short term. I mean, I think there are other candidates, frankly, that we could be thinking of putting tariffs on. We're the only developed major UK market that is letting Chinese imports in FOC without tariffs. And I think that is an oddity given the amount of support the Chinese authorities have given their industry, which has given them now a very strong position, particularly with electric vehicles.
Yes.
So there's an awful lot swirling around at the moment. And I think the other element that is causing great angst in the UK market and for UK manufacturers of cars is the ZEV mandate, which was born in a different era, which is now being absolutely overtaken by events. I mean, last year there were 24% as the target of electric cars. That was missed. The government is pretending that it's all okay because they send out press releases saying that no automaker paid a fine. I mean, there's a lot of poetic license in that. They claim it's due to the flexibilities of the mandate. What that means is certain manufacturers might well be buying credits from Tesla, for example, or from the Chinese, which is pretty outrageous, actually, in that we should expect this government to revisit the mandate radically to ensure that all of the penalties within the mandate, which is £15,000 per car fine if you do not meet that target, which is completely paralysing the industry. I mean, I know people in the industry who are trying to do nothing other than avoid the £15,000 fine per unit, when they should be thinking about how they could sell more cars and create a stronger used car market, a stronger new vehicle market in the UK. So there's
should we go further though, Tim? Should we go further and actually say that the government should scrap the ban on petrols and diesels? People aren't wanting to buy electric cars. They're too expensive. There aren't enough charging ports. Actually, diesels and petrols have never been cleaner comparatively with 20, 30, 40 years ago, and it's absolutely crippling the car market. I mean, you must have been as sad as I was, having grown up next to Luton, to see that Vauxhall factory in Luton now threatened with closure.
Well, and now has closed last week. I mean, Camilla, you're right. The consequences of the mandate are terribly serious. I mean, UK car production last year was as low as it was in 1954. I mean, this is a catastrophe. So the Vauxhall plant has closed. We see that BMW in the Mini factory in Oxford have decided to postpone investment because of the uncertainty. By the way, that BMW plant making Minis sends a lot of Minis to the USA. So if tariffs come on Minis going over the pond, that would put another question mark over that plant. There are issues in the mandate which are just unable to be delivered. The 28% target for this year as a percentage of a total car makers volume that should be electric, that's impossible. It would involve a doubling of the sales rate of the retail customer, the private customer, compared to last year. And for some of the reasons you identified, the cost of the cars, the cost, this is electric vehicles in particular, the cost of the vehicles, the cost of insurance, it all adds up to the extent that they're expensive propositions. And if you don't have the luxury of a drive upon which you could recharge your car, you're then dependent on charging on the roadside. And that normally is about 9 times the price of the overnight charge from home, which does not then have VAT imposed upon it. So the private customer is not flocking to buy electric vehicles. Last year, of new car buyers, private new car buyers, only 1 in 10 chose an electric vehicle. So these targets in the mandate, as they stand today, must be scrapped, as must the fine. I mean, £15,000 is absolutely ridiculous. We hear that Jonathan Reynolds has been brought up in the shadow of the plant in Sunderland, the Nissan plant, and he talks nicely and powerfully about understanding that the mandate is not working in the best interests of the industry, but we have not seen anything from him yet. Now, I know he's busy trying to negotiate a carve out of a trade deal, but he's got a mandate problem of some substance he needs to turn his attention to urgently and tear it up and start again.
Yeah, no, we've heard you loud and clear. Thank you very, very much indeed for joining us on GB News this morning. Tim Tozer, former chairman and managing director of Vauxhall Motors. Doesn't make any sense, any of this arbitrary targets that are jeopardising one of our main industries in the UK. Madness, total madness.